looks like we are about ready to start the finals here. Just a quick reminder, all of the top 8 players are receiving at least an invitation to the February qualifier weekend. So even if you end up being second here, you don't get the championship invite, but you at least get to battle for the championship invite through the qualifier weekends on Arena. So nobody's coming home empty-handed, as well as $200 for the second place here.
Absolutely cool. Yeah, that is like still a big prize. Like so many
And
of
those
these
gems, I
tournaments
mean,
are.
you
Yeah,
said that the gems, at some point it's just 3,000 gems, but I can tell you, like, I've spent a lot of money in Arena, and I can always welcome some extra gems. There's never enough. There's never
that
enough.
is true. Hey, those cosmetics don't come for free, all right? So we see. Is it going second once more here? So there will be a tainted adversary, I think, on the field, and for now, no
Hmm.
answers for it. But the game just started, so we will see.
We
All
have the key
right.
card here for Izzet, which is the Hullbreaker in hand, but just like extra 6 land drops needed to scout that, so that's gonna be coming in the future. But here, interesting
Yeah,
interaction here with the
super
Hazard,
smart.
being able to kill
Super
the
smart.
Kobe Esperin before he gets the counter on it. That's really nice.
We have seen Izzet trying to figure out if they wanted to play it as a blue land or a red land. And in the end, they decided to go with the red source, knowing that there might be
Hmm.
Luminarch Aspirant here. So that was a super smart play to play around this Luminarch Aspirant. Not really around it, but like getting them into the trap. Like they activated the trap card right away.
Malone, this winning announcement it just looks so amazing every time it hits the board. Like, it's just a small one on the first turn, and then it's another one. Then suddenly there's 3 2/2s, and like, what happened here? It was looking so good for me like 2 turns ago, and now there's a huge army on the other side.
I mean, it's a big old wedding. That's all it is about, you know. That's the
And
whole
there's
set.
another
So
one right
just
there.
there's another one, and I mean, it looks so
Weddings.
classy on that art.
It's
We
like
could
it's
go
like the
with the
summer days.
fading hope here.
There's a
Yeah,
wedding. There's a wedding every other weekend.
absolutely. And here it comes every single turn. So they're making 2 1-1s here. In 2 turns, they will be 2 2s. In 1 turn, there will be 2 2s, then 3 3s. So it's very, very good here for them. I think that Izzet needs to dig for some lands here, and there they are. Are they taking the Syncopate in hand, or are they taking the
I think they
land?
should.
They're going with the
Because there's
Syncopate
this
here.
there is this lol on the other side. If that manages to resolve this turn, that would be brutal for this player. Lol is just so hard to deal with. Like, you curve out on turn 5 with that. So Syncopate looks really good if they go for lol. That like the lol surviving, like resolving here, is pretty much lights out. I would say, like, it would be so brutal. So having the Syncopate here is really nice. And as well, you have the Behold, so we have
Trying
two
to
good
go
plays.
with it. I was thinking about playing around the Javari disruption here, and they just
Hmm.
didn't. They just tried to slam down the Loth. But I feel like, they're still drawing 2 cards here because of the wedding announcement. They're still making 2 2s out of those 1 1s. So I think it
Hmm.
is super good. So I hope that the sound is better for chat right now. Sadly, we have no way of finding that out. And there's 3 lands. They do have a red source in
Hmm.
there. So you were saying maybe they should have a red source. Here it is. Here it actually is. The Blind Step
Hmm.
Pathway as a red source. Going with the Behold the Multiverse main phase. All right. Ooh, and the Demon Bolt looks tasty here. But
Yeah,
still, it's
looks
still
like we might take some damage from the tokens here. We do have eventually the burn down, so we kind of, I think they need to time this so that they take all the necessary damage and then try to like sweep the whole board with this one burn down. And if they can do that and like kind of untap with maybe just like one creature on the board, then they might be able to take this home. But it's gonna be hard because you're gonna take a bunch of damage from these 2/2s. Now there's Edgar too.
yeah, and I think we will see an Edgar here. Like even now to burn down the house, and that is exactly what I was talking about the whole day. And now it becomes a 6/6. So this Edgar is here to
Ooh.
stay, but we do have the Fading Hope though, and we do have the mana to play them both. But still, man, this Edgar is brutal, and that is exactly what I was talking about the whole time. Having this Edgar that just pumps out these little creatures. But at the same time, you should never forget that Izzet does have to burn down the house here into a Fading Hope, and then later on the Kraken. So, but not all the spells in the universe right now, and they're opting to go with the Demon Bolt. Interesting. So they're going
Okay.
Demon Bolt, burn down the house, and hoping to keep that Fading Hope for the Kraken later. It's not even half that bad, you know? It's a very smart line, to be honest.
But that is going to mean that Edgar flips now and starts pooping out 3/3s every upkeep, so...
Yeah. That is true, but only for 2 turns, you know? So we're seeing the Sorin here.
Consider yourself
That is true. But they can only attack in next turn also. And oh, the Syncopate here was not what Izzet wanted to see here. Absolutely not. This 5/6 flyer in the air that just apparently that just appeared out of nowhere, like Randy Orton, that was brutal. That was brutal.
Ooh,
Nothing on
jeez.
Innistrad is free.
That ooh.
Soul Shatter
This-
of the top.
Yeah, man. Oh, I know what I will be playing on my channel tomorrow, so you will see this Orzhov list 1,000,000%. This Soul Shatter is soul shattering, no pun intended. And we see the concede right away. Not even chilling, just conceding right away. Oh my lord, that was
so
painful.
that was so painful, Malone. Especially because it was revealed, so it was like public knowledge.
Yeah.
They kind of knew that
Yeah.
the Hullbreaker wasn't long for this world, but they kind of was like, what am I supposed to do? I'm just gonna cast it. Maybe you forgot what it does, or I don't know.
The chances are always there. I mean, you can always win games by luck, by sheer luck, by the opponent just having a glitch in their head. You never know. You know, I have situations in my life where I thought this game is over. I should concede.
I respect
I didn't
it.
concede and then I somehow won. So, but I still think, yeah, as you said, being public knowledge, that was just like, dude, just so you know, you lost here. I just want to let you know. But yeah, that was a super exciting deck, and Orzhov doing exactly what it wants to do here, being super resilient, just bringing out these little tokens turn after turn. And as you said, only a 3/3, yeah, it's way more. And in the end, it was way enough. I forgot that Izzet had 1 or 2 mana too little, you know, to really, really seal the deal here. And once more going second, so we will see how this turns out going first next game. And sideboarding here as well is very important. So I haven't paid too much attention here. What did they get in? They got in the Cinderclasms. They got in the Egg as well. Super good. The Egg is
4
super good as an
eggs.
early blocker.
Mhm.
And as I said already
Even-
before, the Hullbreaker Horror together with the Egg, just dealing 2 damage, being able to return a token to their hand, dealing 2 damage to the other token. That is just super, super good. So yeah, I think the mixture between the Egg and the Hullbreaker Horror, if they get them both on the field, they kind of both do the same up to a certain point, as long as there is not too many anthem effects on the field.
Looks like even the old man is making the appearance here. The Hermit, both copies of that coming. So basically, like almost all the creatures which were available in the sideboard seem to have come in for the Izzet player, which is really interesting piece of sideboard in there. We'll see how that works out for them. Thankfully, maybe we're gonna get to disrupt this. I guess this turn. I was thinking this winning invitation next turn, but it looks
Yeah,
like
but I
that's
think
not
there's
gonna
still.
happen.
I think we will see a burn on the house getting spellbound here, to be honest. We're going with the wedding announcement. Pretty interesting. I like playing the elite spellbinder as fast as possible, but it also makes sense. Trying to find a land here.
Yeah.
The dragon now already at 2 counters. I think we see a Hullbreaker in hand. And the mountain to
yeah.
play here.
I would expect that because you already have an egg and you don't have like infinite spells, so I mean it's gonna take a while to get this horror down, so it definitely is a bit of a consideration. It's still 2 sources off, and I guess this windfall can help get this horror down too. But
Yeah, but the elite
it might be a
spellbinder
9
is
mana horror.
once more.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
once
yeah.
more like taxing the horror really, really good here. But there is a burn down the house on the field that would also destroy the smoldering egg, though. So, do you really want to do that? I don't think so. So, right now, I would have to say that I think that the game is going towards Orzhov right now. Because, yes, they could push the
Yeah.
big red button and burn down the house. Let those devils destroy everything on the field, but is that really what they want to do? And I think that we're going to see Orzhov taking care of the Heartbreaker Horror here. Like, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Yeah, this is. We said that we think that the Izzet player has an advantage. You can see these play patterns where the Orzhov player is just able to like set up kind of very expendable threats very easily with these wedding announcements and so on.
There's
And they
just
just
another
don't really need to
Heartbreaker Horror.
put much on the battlefield, right? Like they just put one announcement and one Hullbreaker, and this board is kind of already kind of threatening. You know, you can't really ignore it.
I thought they were seriously going to throw away that Heartbreaker Horror. I think that Heartbreaker Horror
Yeah,
is way too important. Even though we have the Vanishing Verse over there. So they don't know about it, but it's still, yeah, it's still pretty brutal. Like, these little 1/1s are putting in some work here right now.
yeah.
So
I
we
think,
are
yeah.
seeing the Heartbreaker leaving here. Crazy. And another burn down the house. So we might also see the burn down the house coming down as devils, you know, just activating Smoldering Egg here. We do have the Syncopate right now that can counter something for 2 mana. And flip the Smoldering Egg around as well. Because it's on 6, so whatever spell here is enough to just flip it. We have the Vanishing Verse and not enough mana to counter it. Ah, that is brutal, but we do have to burn down the house once more as a security measure. No need for Orzhov to overextend here.
And the Orzhov player knows about the Syncopate. They probably don't want to throw the Spellbinder in there knowing that.
That is also true, yeah.
As we said, like this is a tough spot for the Izzet player because they kind of want to keep developing their mana, keep like churning through these cards, but at the same time they're taking 8 damage now and potentially 4 more from the land if they activate that. So like they need to keep their attention to the board, but if they do that, then they're not going anywhere. They're just kind of treading water and hoping that the opponent runs out of threats, which is looking unlikely because we have this Maria's Call, we have this Spellbinder, we also have this land which is looking pretty menacing right now, being a 4/4.
Oh yeah, the land is once more, but we do have the Field of Ruin also. And it's turning night now,
true.
so opting not to do anything main phase. Also very smart here. Another Syncopate, I think, yeah, throwing away the Syncopate now, acting like they, that is very smart as well. And a third Elite Spellbinder. That is tough, but I still feel like if they get rid of the land here now, that is still pretty good, you know? I think that it just has a very good chance to make a comeback here. With the 2 burn down the houses. If it weren't for the 2 burn down the houses, maybe things would be different. But why should the Orzhov player just throw down the Elite Spellbinders here and not just attack in and then restore the board afterwards? There's actually no need to.
Even the Celestis and the 2 treasures, they still can't play their Heartbreaker because it costs 9 mana right now. That is really
it's an appropriate
hefty
price.
amount of mana.
Hey, it's an appropriate price for just such a crazy creature, you know. So also like a Cinderclasm would be good here. So we will see what they're doing actually. The Galvanic Iteration, also interesting, but a little late now that they already played the Unexpected Windfall. I think they would have liked it. There's a third Syncopate. Okay. Not using the auto tapper here. Very smart. Very smart. Keeping the treasures open. And burning down that house.
I wonder why we are using. They want to keep up the. Okay, this lets them keep up the Field of Ruin.
Absolutely, yeah.
Potential. So they don't need to activate it. They just can kind of threaten it. So they don't need to pop their treasures. They just have to kind of threaten the ability to kill it if the opponent goes for it, which is gonna deter the opponent for trying to go for it.
And I think we're going to see burn down the house here getting taken out of their hand, even though they do have enough mana to just play it now, thanks to all these treasures. And yeah, we will see what happens. We will just have to see what happens. Because they could go with the Smoldering Egg, then just double Galvanic Iteration into... Absolutely. Like okay, interesting. Why do you think they went for the Syncopate here?
Yeah, that is Interesting. Maybe they are planning to play the other spellbinder, so they just don't want to get that counter, and now they can take the other thing which they were considering. So maybe that is
But
playing
it's
into it
still
because otherwise they would have had their second PV probably syncopated.
absolutely, yeah, but they still do have enough mana to just play the burn down the house here, so that's very interesting. I mean, they're taxing the burn down the house, then they just attack in with a 5 mana land that has manas. So yeah, I think it was the right play here. Like right now, I mean, yeah, they burn down the house, and then what? They still have the land, you know. They still have the freaking land. So they pay now 7. They have 5 land, 6 with that, 9. They can play the egg afterwards as well if they really want to. But yeah, the land is still a big threat here. So and we have the Amiria's call as well. Never forget about that. So it's a very, very close one and a very, very interesting game. So I really couldn't say who would win now. I think it's all up to the top decks a little bit because they do have enough mana to play the burn down the house and use the Field of Ruin still. So yeah, but then they're looking
Yeah,
at 2 angels from the Amiria's call.
the potential problem, as you said right there, I think is the Maria's call because we did already use a lot of our sweepers. So if we do end up using this burn down to take down these two spellbinders, I wonder how difficult it's gonna be for us to deal with 2/5/5s coming down because that's already an available play because the opponent has 7 mana. They already have the call, so they for sure can do that next turn.
They are thinking about using the Field of Ruin here main phase just before, and I think that's pretty smart.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they would have used up more treasures here.
Yeah.
But the Heartbreaker Horror is still lumbering in their hand, you know. All right,
Well,
burning
technically
down
in
the
the
house here.
exile zone, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's not entering the battlefield anytime soon, as it looks like.
you're absolutely right, and the German in me is now very pleased with that what you just said. So just so you know. Technically. So how much mana do we have? We're 6. Ah, we do have
You know what?
enough, you know, to return one of those angels to their hand. The Heartbreaker Horror coming down here. Oh, we
Yeah,
don't.
we
It's
don't.
1 mana off. It is 1 mana off. Oh no. Oh, that is painful.
We can gain a life and loot is what we can do if we pass a turn with
Survive
the
one more turn.
Celestus. But we need to draw something from the loot because we're still dying even if we gain a life. So we would need
That is so
to
true.
actually top deck something. So that's I don't know if that's our best solution. I'm not sure if I like playing this egg. Flipping
I
it.
don't know.
Why? I'm not sure why we played the egg because it feels like if
I
we are
have no
gonna
clue as
activate
well.
Celestus, we should do that first, see what we draw, and
Yeah,
after that we can play the egg. Playing the egg first just like kind of narrows your yeah. Because
I
like yeah,
think
what could
that was
happen
a
here?
huge misplay here. The unexpected windfall
Mm,
could have turned it around. So congratulations, though, to
yeah,
the Orzhov mid-range list taking the win here. Great play by the Izzet control list as well, coming to the finals.
indeed.
But congratulations to our winners. So let's give them a little clap here. They played very, very smart. I think that was also from all the games we have seen the best game. Like in general, very, very good decisions have been made here by the elite spellbinder usage, and yeah,